Alright guys, I am back with a video, and in this video I'm going to be answering 3 questions. So 2 of them are going to be from the comment section. I forget the videos, but I do know that 2 of them are from you guys, and one of them is going to be one that I think that you guys will appreciate. So the first question is going to be, what was my favorite part about being in the Marines? The second question is being away from family in the Marine Corps and how I dealt with that. And the third question is thoughts on NavatheBeast. And if you guys don't know who that is, that's a famous YouTuber, Marine YouTuber. He's active duty, and he's very, yeah, he makes a lot of videos, alright? He's very popular. So, first question, what was my favorite part about being in the Marines? I'm going to twist that question. So whoever is from, I'm going to kind of twist it to something I can more relate to. So, at Apple, I work at Apple now that I'm a veteran. A lot of times a customer will just kind of create small talk, and they'll be talking about my tattoos, and they'll ask me, "Oh, where'd you get them?" And I'll be like, "I got them in the Marine Corps." And then they'll be like, "Oh, how was the Marines?" "I didn't know you were a Marine." Something along the lines of that. Now, how do I answer that? All right. So, do I say good? Do I say bad? Like, how do I answer that? So it kind of reminds me of my older sister and her being she's at grad school right now for playing the oboe. She's a very talented oboist. She dedicated her whole life to it, and she's been playing for 12 years. She's finishing up college. She's very talented. Now, when somebody asks her, "Oh, are you good at the oboe?" or like, "Oh, how do you like it?" Like you guys have something like that in your life, I'm certain of it, a hobby or something you're very passionate about, where when people are like, "Oh, oh, you like that? Like, tell me about it." And you just can't even put the words together to be like I dedicate my entire life to this. Like, this is my thing. This means so much to me. So, what was the Marines like? Usually I'll go along the lines of, I had the best times in the Marine Corps and I had the worst times. And then, a lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, okay," and that's it. But sometimes people will delve deeper. They'll kind of nitpick me, asking me, tell me more about that. Like, tell me about the time in the Marine Corps that was bad. So then I'll answer. I'll be like, "All right. So, take for instance, range 400. All right, that was a range, an infamous range in 29 Palms, where you hike miles and miles to get to it. And it is the most intense thing in the world. So you're running and puking and just in 120-degree weather, and it's just terrible times, and you wouldn't even imagine. And we have machine gun fire over our heads, firing at these targets, and we're trying to get close to these targets so that we can finally jump up on this berm with 150 of us, all mad as hell because we just ran over there. We jump up on that berm and we just lay into them with everything that we have. The assaultmen fire the rockets at them. The grenadiers, like myself, we fire the grenade launchers at them. We got our automatic riflemen firing their M27s at the targets. We got machine gun fire over our heads. We got sniper fire. We got mortars. We got grenades, frags. We got everything you can imagine. That is the most fantastic thing that I will ever see in my life, and I have ever heard in my life. And I know that. I'm 21 years old, and I know that is the extent of how brilliant of a sound I will ever hear in my life. So, and it was so brilliant, I lost my hearing to it. That's sort of what the Marine Corps was like. It was the most intense thing. I heard the most brilliant things. I've seen the most brilliant things. But it cost me a lot, and it was a terrible build-up to it. 99% of it is the hike to that event. So, yeah. Second question, being away from family in the Marine Corps and how I dealt with that. So, being away from family, I'll tell you right straight up, I don't know if you guys are emotional or not, but you're going to become sentimental in the Marine Corps, all right? I'm talking, you're going to take pictures from your girlfriend. Oh, man, when you get to boot camp, you don't have contact with your family for 3 months. The only contact you have is with mail, but that's like a week delay to go and answer one of your mails. So it takes a couple days to get there and a couple days to get back. So you're really not really having conversations with your family and friends. Like, they're gonna send you, like, your girlfriend is gonna send you a picture of herself, and she won't think anything of it. She'll just she'll send a picture, and that'll be it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna latch onto that thing. You're gonna be like, that is my life. Like, every night, like, you'll hide it underneath your pillow or something. Like, you'll try and find a way to go and look at it for just a couple seconds in boot camp or any time in the Marine Corps. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna go and laminate that bitch. You're gonna put what do you call that? Like the wrapping tape, not the wrapping tape, right? The see-through tape, right? You're gonna laminate it with see-through tape, and you're gonna put it in your breast pocket, or you're gonna put it in your, like, anything, like, sometimes in your boot, so that nobody can find it. And that when you're all alone, you're gonna look at that, and you're gonna get so many emotions by looking at that. You're gonna become so sentimental in the Marine Corps regarding your family. I remember, oh man, like the patrol base op. So I just made a video talking about the Camp Pendleton incident with the IIT and stuff, like one of those scenarios. But a week before that, or like a week after that, or sometime during that field op, we did patrol base op. And what a patrol base op is, you're in the middle of the woods a lot of the times, which this one was, sort of jungle-ish woods, and you're gonna be trying to stay hidden from the enemy. All right, you're gonna be launching patrols, but your patrol base is supposed to be in the worst spot possible, so that nobody wants to go over there to fight you. Like, nobody wants to go over there to even look for you. That's where you sleep. And while you're over there, a lot of the times you have to stay silent, and you have to just wait for the next squad to go or whatever. And in this instance, it was time for our squad, my squad, first squad, to hike over to the road and rendezvous with the resupply so we could get some water for the rest of the day. Now, this was at 4 a.m. or something, so we hiked over to there, patrolled over, and we were laying next to the road. It was sort of a hill to the road, so I was on a slanted part, and I was just looking down the road, seeing if anybody was walking down it or waiting for that Humvee to come and resupply us. And when the sun started to come up, I took out that laminated picture of my ex, and I saw the sunrise with her. Like, that's what it felt like. And that's what I mean by sentimentality, is you're gonna become so attached to these little things that they give you, these little trinkets that they won't even think anything of. I don't know if you guys have ever read the book. Oh man, it's my favorite book. It's The Things They Carried, but this actually, it's whatever. That's another story for another day. But yeah, so you're gonna become very sentimental dealing with your family. Now, when you hit the fleet, when you hit your unit, you're gonna be Skyping your family all the time. I Skype my ex, or my girlfriend at the time, every single day. Every single day I Skyped her, because I knew that in a week I was gonna be gone for a week. It's one of those things. The third question, all right, I'm gonna answer that one now, is thoughts on NavatheBeast. So NavatheBeast, I already explained a little bit. He's a Marine. He's active duty. He just recently, I watched his videos. I enjoy them. Like, he's very, very talented at what he does. Like, he puts a lot of effort into this. And I don't know how he did that on active duty. Like, that's pretty crazy. Props to him. But actually, this question is based on it's based on a question that was more lengthy than I had time to go and write. It was from Jamie King, so I'm gonna read this one. So the full question was, I was wondering, what's your opinion on these active duty military YouTubers? I think it's bad all the way around. Too much info, such as surroundings being exposed to the wrong people. It's locations being exposed, behavior patterns, training methods, and other things. Just seems like a conflict of interest, and the wrong words spoken can get you a dishonorable discharge. So that's exactly right. So that's my theory behind why NavatheBeast does not record himself during work hours. You always see him with civilian clothes. Nice. These are 12-hour work days. Like, that's the biggest chunk of his day is that, and he never records himself. He only records himself eating at the chow hall. He only records himself in his room on a lunch break or something, like just like getting some water or something, getting some notes. So that's the only time that he ever records himself, or at the gym, or at on Liberty. So as for too much info being and surroundings being exposed, I have a funny story to that actually. So remember when Pokemon Go was a thing? I don't know if you guys still play that. I mean, I don't. I had such a blast playing it though. A lot of us on 29 Palms did as well. So the thing with that is that it's a bunch of people in civilian clothes. It's after hours, walking around with their cell phones up in every corner of the base looking for Pokemon. Now, what does that look like? It looks like a bunch of random people are walking around the base taking pictures. So of every corner. So as you can see, that actually the command of our base got worried about that, and there was word spreading around that they were going to ban Pokemon Go, and that was a real fear of the command. So I mean, at the end of the day, they didn't go through with it, and Pokemon Go just kind of went away. So, yeah, it's not that big of a problem anymore, but it was a thing. As for like surroundings being exposed, I mean, they know that you're gonna be taking Snapchats. They know that there's gonna be videos, and I mean the base really, like, you can honestly go on a base as long as you have an approval from like one person on base. You can just go on there. So. Like, it's really easy to go on a base. Like, it's not that, like, high-tech, like, whatever. And to continue on, it's locations being exposed, behavior patterns, training methods. So, as for NavatheBeast himself, one gripe I have with him is that he portrays himself as this badass infantry marine. Now, what he actually is a admin in the Marine Corps, so his job is to do paperwork on a computer all day, every day. That is what he does, paperwork on a computer. Now, sometimes he'll go out to the field for like a half a day and do an obstacle course, but that does not make you infantry. And that kind of pisses me off when he kind of portrays himself like that. Another thing, like, we see a lot of pogues, persons other than grunt. So, okay, yeah, take for instance the admin that were in my, the admin Marines that were in my unit. So I was in an infantry unit because I was infantry. And we have to have admin Marines who are within our unit. And because they were in an infantry unit, they thought that they rated to be infantry. Like, they thought that they were infantry a lot of times. And we had to put them in their place and be like, what are you talking about, dude? Just because you have infantry in the name of the unit doesn't mean that you do anything. Like, you sit on a computer all day. That's what you do while we're out there training and freaking buddy rushing till we pass out. Like, that's what we do. And you're back in the rear, never going to the field. Sometimes an obstacle course. Okay. So, that's the gripe I have with him. Training methods being exposed. Now, okay. My thoughts on that. I post a lot of Airsoft, right? And something I do at Airsoft is I usually ask the people there, like, we'll be talking and stuff, and they'll be like, they'll see what I'm wearing is very Marine Corps stuff. So they're like, oh, are you, they can tell that even though everybody's dressed like Marines, that I'm the one true Marine. And they'll ask me, like, oh, are you a Marine? And I'll be like, yeah. So that's usually where the conversation ends. They're like, oh, cool. Like, thanks for your service. And, that's fine. But, like, I would expect, like, if you're going to dress up and you're going to put on all this gear and buy all this weaponry, that you're going to want to know how to use it and how to do tactics. Like, that was something I was so interested in before I joined the Marine Corps. That's why I did Airsoft. I thought it was the coolest thing, doing tactics and stuff. But they don't care about that. At least the people I met at Airsoft, they don't care about clearing rooms. They don't care about all that stuff. They just care about, put on the stuff, which is fine. That's what Airsoft is for. But that sort of is my opinion on training methods. All the documents and all the things we learn on School of Infantry is on YouTube. We have that. Oh man, we have the actual written Marine Corps documents on every single tactic we have. Learned at School of Infantry online. Like, you can look it up. Like, School of Infantry like manual it literally has what we learned from, like, page to page. So you can learn how to be a Marine if you want. But the thing is, the difference between Marines and civilians and airsofters or whatever is that we put in the hard work. We put in 12 hours a day learning speed reloads, learning patrols, learning hand and arm signals, learning how to use our night vision to the best capabilities, learning how to use our PEC-16 so we can laser enemies and stuff like that, learning how to like clean our weapons and stuff. Airsofters don't do that, and they don't care either. So, like, you know, training methods doesn't really matter. And as for NavatheBeast, he's not putting anything out there that's worthwhile. He's putting out like how to work out, and he's putting out occasionally he'll like show his computer. Like, it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't know. I'm just kind of mad that he portrays himself as that. Like, I have nothing against NavatheBeast except that. That is the only thing. And he is very humble with that stuff. I mean, he's not a humble guy, but he's a humble guy to the point where he knows that he's not infantry, but he does try and get that sort of honor. Yeah, and yeah, that's about it, guys. I kind of rambled there at the end, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I think it was all valuable information if you were able to listen to this all the way through. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day, guys.